what he found was they essentially had a leak, and I'm not talking about the Google leaks, that's a whole other topic. I'm talking
Yeah.
about this endpoint exploit. And what it showed is there was essentially, the way I take it, is it's essentially a post-ranking QA. And they found a huge amount of data, even to the point where, yes, there actually is a quality score that every domain has. We knew this. SEO conceptualized many of these things that have been largely validated by what Mark found. So I think it hasn't been unpacked enough yet. I think it's huge. And so what I see that as, like I say, is this post-ranking QA. And I believe that Google's probably using that process to do machine learning on it to feed back into its algorithm or into its ranking manipulations. And this is what they used to use human quality raters for. You had the quality raters
Hmm.
guidelines. Google had an army of quality raters. They would test subtle algorithm modifications and the perturbations that they had in the search results and rate them, and they would use that feedback and basically direct their algorithm development that way. That's all well and good, quite a thing to organize and architect, but that's been the way for a while. Now I believe it's actually amazing how much computation they're doing post search. I had always assumed, and you should never assume, but I always assumed that they were doing this sort of pre-search and maybe somehow trying to keep track of what types of queries and process it that way. But it seems not to be the case, or maybe they are doing that, but they also do pretty
Post search.
extensive analysis post-search. Is a parameter checked once they've delivered that set of search results? So that's pretty amazing to me. That's really what they were doing. I didn't call Mark out on it. I just said I don't really buy that they would do this. And one of the reasons was just some of in the leaked documents as well, like some of the programming practices, the naming conventions of variables, the use of values, like they would mix float numbers and integers, and or they would assign a variable type to something that couldn't add up to that variable type based on the data that it came from. They would have a negative score, a negative click value, and a positive click value. Why not have a click value? Could be positive or negative. It made no sense. So there were lots of bad programming practices in there,
Yeah.
which made me a bit skeptical. But Mark showed me the data and like I reviewed it, and it was very interesting. So that's why I think that has gone. I think that element of it has gone a little bit crazy to the
Hmm.
point where they now don't really know what's the true algorithm